Hello friends, one of the burning questions of this particular election has been derived from the low voter turnout. The BJP's rivals are convinced that the low voter turnout has hurt the party. It suggests that there is disenchantment with Modi and that Modi's BJP is going to lose. We are going to analyze whether this particular claim is supported by data. Going into the 2024 Lok Sabha election, the ideological left had convinced itself that the BJP's goose is cooked this time, that the party, so blinded by its own success, had turned a Nelson's eye to the sullen and silent voter who will punish the saffron front for, quote, prevaricating, unquote, on the OBC-SC-ST caste census, for not creating enough, quote, productive jobs, unquote, and for, quote, favouring the rich, unquote. And when the 7-phase poll began on April 19th, the ideological opposition to the NDA began hunting for any indication, however tenuous, to confirm its biases. Little wonder then that it has made a very big deal about the underwhelming voter turnout in phase 1 and 2 of the election. One group of Modi-led NDA's critics has even branded the palpable disinterest of voters as a, quote, rebellious rejection, unquote, of the incumbent, that is, of the man and the party. Before we analyze whether the conclusion is right or wrong, let's first establish the turnout figures. In a total of 190 seats spread over phase 1 and phase 2 of the Lok Sabha elections, the turnout stood at 67.2% and 66.7% respectively. Taken together, the turnout was a little over 3 percentage points lower than in 2019. Clearly, appeals to voters by Prime Minister Modi ahead of phase 2 failed to energize them. Does this failure of the BJP to galvanize the voters suggest a deep-seated electoral disenchantment? Fundamental question. Let's study the historical record to examine whether a correlation can be made between low voter turnout and anti-incumbency. First, there have been at least 4 Lok Sabha elections where voter turnout slid and had negative voter participation been a sign of anti-incumbency, then Nehru's government would have lost in 1957, Indira's in 1971, Vajpayee in 1999, and BJP state governments in Gujarat Assembly polls in both 2017 and 2022. To be exact, in 1957, Nehru won a second term despite a 0.5% drop in voter turnout. In 1971, Indira won despite a 5.7% drop in voter turnout. Interestingly, in 1999, the voter turnout dropped by almost 2%, even though the election was conducted just after the Kargil War and Mr. Vajpayee returned to power. In 2017, the Gujarat Assembly poll saw a 3% drop in voter turnout. But the BJP was back and won again in 2022, though the turnout registered a steep 5.4% drop. In these cases, the reason for the drop in turnout in all probability was voter fatigue and not necessarily a sign of voter anger directed against the incumbent party. Conversely, of the 17 Lok Sabha elections that have been conducted since 1952, the turnout increased 10 times. Yes, 10 times, viewers. The turnout jump didn't hand anyone on any side the advantage. The incumbent lost 4 times and won in 6 elections. Statistically, this becomes an impossible projection to make. But it is also true that NDA's victories coincided with higher voter turnout in all Lok Sabha elections except in 1999. If you go through the Lok Sabha almanac, you will see that again in 1998 and of course in 2014 and 2019, we had big jumps in turnout. Is it therefore reasonable to assume that a higher polling percentage is crucial for the BJP? This brings us to examine a second set of data points. In their work, psephologists Dorab Sopariwala and Dr. Pranoy Roy conclude that despite the high overall voter turnout, the BJP's winning percentage was much better on lower voter turnout seats in these elections. The duo disaggregated the overall voter turnout and looked at urban-rural constituencies and then exclusively at rural constituencies where the turnout was above 60%. This mix was taken to discount for the BJP's greater support base and natural predilection to win in urban constituencies. Supariwala and Roy's study concluded that the BJP-led NDA performed better in low turnout constituencies in 2004, 2009 and 2014 Lok Sabha polls. So much so that the duo noticed that, and I quote, the BJP plus's margins of victory dropped and in some cases lost to the Congress plus in high turnout seats. This interesting statistical exercise reveals that the BJP is more successful in constituencies where the turnout is lower, not higher, lower. Perhaps because being a cadre-based party, it has the organizational wherewithal to get its core base to the polling booth. Third, if a lower vote percentage automatically spelled defeat for the incumbent, then all of the India bloc's star candidates in Phase 1 and Phase 2 of this election are in danger of losing. And we are talking about Rahul Gandhi, Shashi Tharoor, Nakul Nath, Gaurav Gogoi, K.C. Venugopal, Dayanidhi Maran. In all their constituencies, the voting percentage has fallen anywhere between 1.5% minimum to a maximum of nearly 8%. While some of these stars might bite the dust on June 4, enough of them will also win to disapprove the theory that lower voter turnout is associated almost always with a vote for change. The 3 points highlighted above clearly reveal that it is tendentious to draw a causality between turnout statistics and electoral results. In short, viewers, we can't conclude that a lower voter turnout is hurting the BJP in this particular election. Thank you for watching.